welcome on the show. My name is Temi Ajayi, and I've got the ladies with me, Miss Greatness. I hope all is okay, or are you still mourning?
Yes, I am still mourning.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
but all is in order. It's a organized mourning ritual. It's not like ours where we just cry anyhow and roll anyhow. This is very organized.
I'm not serious anymore. I'm not
No,
serious at all.
it's not out of order.
We take your word for it. How about
Yeah,
that?
but it's all well. Thank you very much. It's a very interesting development, though.
Okay. You will please talk to us more about it in a minute. Heidi,
Yeah.
you are glowing.
Thank you. In
And
green. I love green.
I like the hairstyle. The green is really army green. So how have you been?
I'm good. Thank you, Temi. I'm good. It's what happened this week? Anna finished this term, so she's off now for
Wow.
2 weeks, and then going again for 2 weeks, and then exams. So we're nearly
And then
finished
guess
the
what?
year.
She finished. She graduates.
After that, yes, yes. So I can't wait for that to happen. And she's really strong. She's doing well. She's studying and everything. So I'm really glad.
Wow. Well, I know what that means. That is, seriously, you're really blessed to have two serious girls, studios, and focused. Very, very important. And for girls in this season, you are very blessed, really.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Well
Temi.
done.
Thank you. How have you been?
Busy, and I don't like to say busy again, but thank God to Liz. Liz got me out this week. And it was amazing. Liz is like, you know, it's 2 weeks, and what are we doing? It's 1 week, what are you doing? I'm like, okay, sorry. So we're gonna be anyway, I say this all the time, but thank you for getting me out because I can get really busy in my world and forget what I'm supposed to do. But I like it when my friends they like, come on, let's do it. So we went out. We had very very nice lunch or brunch, and so that
Yeah.
was good.
Great
But
conversation. Yeah.
conversation, a lot of conversation, and that was fantastic. But apart from that, I've been doing meetings upon meetings for church because towards the end of the year in the church, we have a lot of programs. We do crossover, which is 31st to 1st. We have to pray, plan, and, towards that. And also we have what we call African celebrations. So as you know, in the church, we have the African celebration group, which is like a church in the church. And so we do also end of the year festival. So this time we're going to Williamstown, you know, Center, which is a massive place. We've used the place before, so we're looking at that as well. So planning has been going on the way. It's a bit much, but with God, all things are possible.
Yes. Wow.
All things are possible. So yeah,
Lovely. So you're
it's a good.
planning for that from now?
We are planning. We were having a meeting today from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock at the meeting.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hmm.
from 10 to 1 o'clock, we were still at the meeting for part
Hmm.
of it. Yeah, so it's a big thing, and yeah, it's good. Very well. So, anything that anyone wants to share, at least anything particularly you want to share with us this week?
Um. Well, not much that's really standing out for me.
Good. Okay.
Besides the fact that we really had a good time when we had that outing, as I was saying that day, if like almost a week and a half is gone and I didn't have a one-on-one with Temi, it's like I feel it. I feel like that's a part of me that is a little bit mismatched. I need to find that connection. So it kind of fills me up when I have my time with you and makes me good to go for at least another 1, 2 weeks. until I start looking around for what's not in place. But yeah, it is really well, and just appreciating the strides that we are making, albeit small. It's good to know that you're moving instead of standing still. So I really appreciate that. Some shout out that I made for the conversations I want to host with, the one-on-ones with the teens and the young adults, and
Yeah.
the responses, people really responding, wanting to hear what's that about, and, signing up for those conversations. That's really a very good progression in my life as well. So beautiful.
Congratulations.
Well
And
done.
happy birthday to your mom,
Oh
Lee.
yeah, how can I
Oh,
forget
wow.
that?
Mm,
82 years of God's grace and favor.
amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
Happy birthday.
commendable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely commendable.
yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. I saw your mom's photo by the beach or something. She was looking for it was amazing, a beautiful photo. I'm like, wow. I just pray that we too will be 83, 86 in good health, in
96 and
fine.
to beyond.
96. I know, possibly. Well,
Yeah.
by God's grace. All right. Well, let's go on a quick break and then let's come back to the big deal. We'll be back. Welcome back on the show. It's good to have you join us and follow us and liking us on Hanging Out with Temi. And thank you for your support all the time and every time. Today, I think we're just gonna. It was good to see your daughter last week, Heidi, and amazing. I went back to watch the program. I'm like, this girl, by the time she's on fire, amazing,
Thank you.
amazing, and that she did a justice to what our concern was. But which was having a party or take food home, all those things that we had previously. So if you have not watched our previous videos, go and watch it.
I want to say there's something interesting about that. I don't know if we told Heidi about the conversation the girls had with her, in terms of preparation, because we were asking in anticipation, Heidi, that once your daughters have got some sort of a party, and you obviously will need 6 tables of 10 of your own, including Temi and myself.
Okay.
How's that gonna go? Are you gonna have your own party, or are the 6 tables gonna be a part of what they are putting together? And it was interesting to hear Ellie's perspective on that. That apparently you guys have already spoken about it, and there's gonna be two parties, and we're really getting ready now for whatever the party is.
I know.
And it was for Hannah,
Yeah.
not her. Interesting.
Yes, yes. We like to pre-plan everything and to organize, things. And I don't know. Look, the way the girls are and the dynamics of the family is that we look forward for things. Like planning a holiday is something. Is fun on its own, and then going on the holiday now, that's like that's another fun. Planning for a party is fun. Now having the party is another part of the fun. So I think yeah, like I anticipate things and I look forward for things, and it's just like that kind of atmosphere that we usually create,
So good.
makes things heightened, makes
Yeah,
emotions
yeah,
heightened.
yeah.
And so we've spoken about Anna's 18th for ages, because Ellie didn't have an 18th because it was during lockdown, and Ellie didn't have a graduation because it was during lockdown. She didn't have a formal, she didn't have so many different things. So Anna's getting to have all of that. So it's like
Wow.
Ellie's reliving this moments that she didn't experience
Yeah,
with her sister. and I am
Sweet.
too as a parent. So
That's good.
this is why it's really special.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now
Yeah.
we could tell really by the way that Ellie was talking
Yeah.
about it. She's really enjoying the process, which
Yes.
is good, you know, because I mean, what's the point of not enjoying the process only to arrive at the event and maybe it's not even going the way you wanted?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lesson to pick, but also really very, very good to hear from you and your girls how you're going about it.
Yeah. Thank
Good.
you.
Something that you know we can ask the other parents to also look into because it really works. Instead
Yeah.
of just going and picking, you know, an agency, asking them to take care of this, you're missing out on something that
No,
you could have done as a family together.
it's
As
a
a
different.
family.
It's a
Yeah.
different feeling.
Yeah,
I
beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Over
I
to you, Temi.
I absolutely love it. And and the fact that Ellie is like, I'm not a party one, my sister is, and we're gonna support my sister, and I'm gonna contribute money, and of course my pay. Beautiful. I will love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
You're building something magnificent there. So
Yeah.
Thank
God
you.
help. Very, very nice.
Thank you.
So anyway, we're just talking about what we talked last week about Ailey, and if you haven't watched it, we'll go watch it. So this week, though, we're gonna talk about how certain should you be in your relationship before proceeding to marriage. How certain should you be? And the other part of the question will be: is there a one person for you? Is there a soulmate? Is there a one person? Are you sure this person is absolutely, absolutely for you?
The one.
The
The
one.
one.
The one. Are you absolute? How certain? Do we just go into marriage without 100% sure? And what percentage do you think will be right? Like, should we say, I mean, 95 is good enough? That's excellent. Is it enough to go? Will 99 enough to go? Do you have to be 100%? How certain? I know we've talked a little bit about this on the show in the past, something closer to this in the past, but I think it's a topic that we continue to be ongoing, that we need to keep shouting, considering the amount of divorces, the amount of harm, that people do to each other, people kill each other in marriages, and we hear this. So I think this topic, we need to keep harnessing it until you know we
Absolutely.
we get it. So Heidi, how because you've been there, done that, and you've got two girls yourself, and you're dealing with a lot of people in this situation that they come to you with a lot of damages, emotional, physically, mentally, all those things. And I do counsel people as well, but I put a little bit of emotion into it. You are crazy on it.
I don't get involved in
I
emotionally
know.
in
I
anything.
know.
Yeah, I learned to separate
Mm,
myself from anything really. Just not just my clients, with everything, even my daughters.
yeah,
I'm
I know.
learning how to separate myself rather than being involved in that extent.
Yeah.
So the question is that you're asking: is there a one?
Is there well, two parts? Is there a one? The other one is, how sure are you?
Yes. Okay.
How much
All right.
how much assurance how certain do you have to be before you go into it?
Mm, okay. Well,
Maybe we should
that's
deal
a
with that.
great question. Yeah, that's a great question. Is there a one? Is there a soulmate? Is there a twin flame? Is there the man of my dreams? Is there the prince, whatever? Um, in what stage?
Hmm.
In what
Before,
stage?
hmm.
What are we talking about here? Are we talking
Before
about
getting,
a 19-year-old, you know, having the first butterflies or having her first kiss or first, person to touch her or, give her a hug and her hormones are running all over the place? Is this what we're talking about? Or are we talking about someone in their 20s, where they already finished whatever they needed to study and then they started a career and they have a little bit of an understanding of who they really are. And then later on, when they're 30, they have been through life, ups and downs, and they learn some and all of that. And then in their 40s or 50s, when they are really mature and have experienced a lot in life, and then now they are actually having a bigger and greater and more deeper, a profound idea of who they really are and what they really want. So when you say the one, which one, at what age, at what stage, I don't believe that there is one. There is many.
Yeah. Okay. That question I think we should be asking also, at what stage? You know why? Because a lot of times the first person you met that you fell in love with and you just with that butterfly is who you end up getting married to. Are you really matured? Really? Do you really know what is there in the future for you? Are you prepared for that? There's a whole lot of things that we parents don't even share with the kids. We don't share with our children. So they don't know what the pains. You might withstand the pain, but there's pain. You might manage the pain, like Lee said, he's managing this morning. You're managing it, but there is morning. So what actually is this? So I like the question, at what stage, but either stage, whatever stage that you are, what do you have to have as a foundation, as a substance that you know that I'm ready? So what should we be looking for? I remember that for me, I've said it on the show before. We know that this audience, we're talking to people that are Christian, not Christian, Muslim, so we can't really use our own value for everybody here. But as a Christian, I think there's easy, it's all set, which I know, because whatever you put in the hands of the Lord is secured, really. So that if both of you are working together, so what I mean by that is you get a mentor before you go into the marriage, somebody working, accountability partner, but it has to be in Christ, really. And you need to be true. So we work with you on this, then we know that's different. But we're talking about people that are not really Christian, they're not really matured in their Christian walk either, or they an atheist or whatever they are, and they're still people. Some of our people, our children, we go and marry somebody and say, well, they're of this different religion, but we're working together, or I'm going to convert. They're going to come to me and come to my church or whatever, but they go out and get into this entanglement. So we really need to be talking for everybody. So faith is apart, which is one of the things that I ruled out. Faith, we know that you're good, you're on the right track, because you see somebody who will continue to work with you as you go. So, like the question you ask us, at what age and what stage, I think at every stage. So, when you want to, they said when a child grows to the level of asking you a question, then they matured enough to get the answer. If you want to marry, you think you want to marry at 19, then you are putting yourself to be a matured man. We're not going to look at you as a kid anymore. We look at you as a man. So now we need to talk to you as a man. At least I'll let you contribute before I go too far.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying the stage, really. And I want to agree with Heidi that there is not one, there is many, because every stage has got the one. And if you sit down one day, at 82, you will be able to count how many ones you've got. But in saying that, Temi, I really want to give a shout out to the conversation we had when Midi came to us. And, I kind of had a few questions that I asked her, which I really appreciate. She was, able to share, where she is in her life and how things are going for her. And to hear her perspective on, what she's looking for and how that she knows she's ready was really, really insightful to me. For her to think like that at the stage and the age that
Yeah.
she's at, really, really informed. Just to summarize a little bit, the one thing that she mentioned was the aspect that people change, which is something that if somebody thinks about hanging out with Temi, they'll probably say, "Oh, those ladies who talk about how much people change."
Yeah.
So yeah, the aspect that people change, and it's a given, people change.
Change.
And together with that, finding that one person who understands that fact that people change,
Mm-hmm.
but the person who is willing to stick with you through the change, see the change through together with you, and embrace who and what you become during the change while you are going through it. That is priceless.
Hmm.
How you get to that place to figure that out depends on the relationship that you have with the person. But before you cross over, I want to, use a microphone for that, or an amplifier for that statement. We are talking about values. Yes, let's align with the values. However, find the person who understands that we change. You don't only change in terms of your values, in terms of your beliefs. You change in terms of your, physical makeup as well. You could have been a size 12, in your wedding dress. But before you know it, you're going to be a size two times that. So is
Possibly.
this person able to embrace the change in you? And are you equally able to embrace your partner when he or she is going to go through quite a number of changes? And I think this is the conversation that we should, you know, defragment and decompartmentalize and really dive into, because that, I think, is the crux of the matter.
Wow. Well, let's go on a quick break and I'll be back to crack it even more. Welcome back on the show. We're still dealing with the issue. How certain should you be in your relationship before you proceed into marriage? And we've talked about at what stage is it that first butterfly that runs through the tummy and then you fell in love, by, there you go. Or is it 20, 30, or, what age it is? And also, we got into the stage of people change. When we talk of change, a lot of things will change, but I think we don't even we never imagine what this could be. So when we say changing, we're saying physically, mentally, emotionally. People could have, the first child and have, especially women, and have postnatal depression. um they could be um traumatized at work, and it could be, you could have a child that has got special need, for example. So we need to be talking about what those needs changes means. Okay, so when I had, for example, a child with special need, I knew my husband could not imagine, understand, nothing. I tell you the truth, I was basically single handedly managing and hiding. Oh, she just said hello to daddy, hi daddy, and then off she goes, and I will engage the daddy. Because I'm thinking at a stage, I mean, this was the initial stage when I've been to the doctor and the specialist, and they were giving me that there's something called intellectual disability. And I was very naive and, ignorant. I'm like, okay, so when is that going to go? What do we have to do? And they say it's going to be, you're going to manage it, but we don't know about going. I'm thinking, no, she's healed in Jesus' name. What are you talking about? If I had told my husband then, I think we probably would have having had two broken, it would have just be bad. So what I said that to say how mature, thank God that I had the maturity and I had mentorship from my pastors, my mother, all those people that were around me to know that it's not, don't carry the burden, just manage it and release it to God. But this person, don't tell him. This is something that is, I don't even know how to say it, but I hid it. I also hid it from my children. So at the time, because they were not matured enough to take anything like that. So I say that to say these are the changes. And what if I wasn't matured and I threw the towel? And I think a lot of people might throw the towel. That's what I'm saying this now, to know that these things are happening. If I don't say it, you won't know it. And it's a thing that you can do. But now we're all managing together. Everybody now knows, okay, it's fine. At the right time, it was told, right? So these are the sort of changes that could change the dynamic of your whole family
Mm-hmm.
entirely. You could have bunch of everybody in, you know, broken. So those are the things we need to be talking to people that are getting to marry in a relationship at any stage. I had a friend, I think I said it on the show. She was married, divorced, or the husband died. She remarried at age 60 years. Marriage lasts for 2 months. And she told the pastor, I'm married at that age. You still don't know for sure that this man said, "Oh, I had a little bit. He's a drunkard. He drinks a lot sometimes, but he loves me at your age and at your stage. So we need to be talking about how to manage this relationship. Now, is there a one for you? Is another question, which I have thought about it so deeply. And I agree with what both of you said, that there could be many. It's true, but I never realized that it could be many. That there's no soulmate. I always thought there's soulmate. But then I'm thinking about it. If there's one soulmate, if your partner leaves or something happened, you divorced, are married, which one is the soulmate? Is it the first one that is your soulmate? Is it the second one that is your soulmate? Was that person you remarried somebody else's soulmate? Because that person probably has never been married before and it was meant for somebody else, but now marries you. So is this soulmate all gone? So I really believe that you build your soulmate, because when Adam and Eve was, pardon me, I have to share what I know, when they were both created, and they misbehaved, they did whatever they done, God says, now you will find I woman, you will go and find. It didn't say you will find the woman. There's difference between A and D. So you can start hunting everywhere. You will find that, and that will become the bone of your bone. I say that to say, to agree that in actual fact, maybe we just come to become soulmate in the process. Really no soulmate from the start. But that was a news to me when I got that. I've always believed, because I have the fear that I might not marry my soulmate, then was that an error? Because I always believed in soulmate. But now my bubble is being blown. And I asked my husband, I said, so what if your soulmate is somewhere else, like, and I miss my soulmate? Like, are you crazy? So I know. I always have to ask questions and check things out. So the people that are remarried and all that, where is the soulmate? What do you reckon, Heidi?
I don't know about a soulmate. Like a soulmate is what every soul has had, like is made to have a mate. Is that what it's meant? And is that mate born at the same time as I am? And are they born in the same country, or are they all the
That's a
way
good one.
in, you know?
That's a good one.
So I don't I don't know if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me.
I like that.
I'm just a little bit I don't
Uh-huh.
know. I'm just not that this idea of soulmate, you know,
Yeah,
like there is a soul and that soul is made to have a mate. So that
yeah.
means that each soul has a mate at the same time, created at the same time, and what released in the world at the same time. And that mate comes in a form of the opposite sex, or does it come in the
Oh,
form
don't go there.
of, you
Don't
know,
go there.
this just gets really complicated.
Yeah,
So it doesn't make sense, and I don't think life is made for us to be confused.
right. Yeah.
I believe that life is a lot more simpler than that, and a lot more intuitive than that. This is telling someone, putting a little idea in their heads that this has to be, you look for the soulmate, this is a soulmate or not. No, I don't think so. I think that this is all made up, and it's just, it doesn't make sense. I believe that, you know, I could be with anyone in the world.
Yeah.
If I want, I
Yeah.
can be with any partner in the world.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if I desire, I could grow on my own. And
Hmm.
if they desire, they can also grow on their own, and we live parallel lives.
Yeah.
Okay? We get together, but we live parallel lives. I believe that there's no soulmate, and there's no the one, and there's no twin flame, and the rest of it. This is just marketing. And I don't believe in that. I'm sorry.
No, it's true what you said, because remember how we used to say you want to marry people of your kind. I might say I want in Nigeria. What if my soulmate is in Japan?
Exactly.
And I'm here narrow-mindedly saying I want my culture, people from my culture. How do you know God did not create your soulmate and put them in Japan, and I'm supposed to be with Japanese? And so interesting, but it's a good insight. And I think a lot of times we don't talk about things, and so we believe our own lies. Liz, do you have any contribution to this before I go to the next topic?
I want to say that we should really come to a place where we appreciate the aspect of becoming in life,
Hmm.
because we are not cast in stone. We this is not what I am made to be. This that you see now on this, what's the date, the 17th 09 2022. This is gonna be so different when I sit at this place probably next month on as for 4 weeks down the line on a Saturday. So we should really appreciate the aspect of becoming. And as I was trying to illustrate in the beginning,
With media.
find that maturity of somebody who can appreciate who you are and who you want to become, who you are becoming to be, with an understanding of the environments that we are in that can impact that process. Then really the soulmate will be created, because the soulmate is also becoming. You are not a soulmate. It for me to long for my interaction with you, with Temi,
Mm,
it didn't start the first day I walked into your office and Bumi walked me down the stairs to get to where you are. No,
that's true. That's
it,
true.
it, it started over time, where I realized this emptiness that I feel right now is for Temi. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
And
That's
for me
true.
to be able to look for you for that, to be filled. And that's it's something that we created.
That's why we created it. Hmm.
Yes. and we continue to create, because every encounter we have, we are adding a brick to it. So this is, it's going to take a time to break, but if we work towards that, eventually it will break as well. So my point that I'm trying to say when it comes to a soulmate is you create it and
Mm-hmm.
you become.
It's true.
You connect today, you
Mm-hmm.
figure out the number of things that you probably have in common. If you realize both the two of you enjoy the sunset, and you make it a point to go for the sunset, maybe every day or every once a week, when that day comes, you will start missing it. Every time you go watch the sunset with this person, you're putting a brick, you're putting a brick. So you're developing that soul tie of watching sunset together with this person. How many soul ties do you want to develop? I don't want to go there. But if you want to zoom into this one person, and there are quite a number of things that you can do together, then it means you are really developing that strong neuron between the two of you that connects you. You know what I mean? And that pretty much could probably be the soul tie, but it is developed. It's not a one day thing, and all of a sudden, whoops, I bumped into her or I bumped into him. I don't believe in that. You have to develop it, and you have to really be intentional to maintain it, regardless of the environments that are contrary to that.
You develop the soulmate, you grow together into it. Let's go on a quick break and be back. Welcome back on the show. We're still talking about how certain are you about the person you're entangling with before you go into a relationship and or marriage, and also to check if there is a soulmate. And a soulmate issue is being dismantled as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing like it. And so we're talking about you have to develop, you have to feed it. Whatever you don't feed dies, right? So I put something down here, that faith. I think faith also, FATE, that on that good day, you were at the right place at the right time. And so wherever you meet somebody, for me also, I think it matters. A lot of times they say, an adage where I come from, they said, "Ìyàwó tá bá fẹ́ níbi ijó, ìran láwo lọ." Meaning, if you marry somebody at the pub, possibility that the person will return back, or you marry somebody at the dance floor, the person will dance away or something, possibly. So it depends. And that is why sometimes I query people when they come for counseling about relationship, where you meet. But what we said is fantastic, because you can meet at the dance floor, but then we need to align our vision now going forward. That dance, maybe we have to be going there together once a month. Where you go to strippers, if you might marry a wife that you met at strippers, she's probably going to strip away. So you need now to engineer your relationship, and reframe it how you want it to go. So I love what I'm hearing from you ladies. And Heidi was saying, really, she can marry anyone and anywhere, and I believe that. So this idea of this person, because the person is size 8 today, that's why I like it. The person can be size 20 tomorrow. What are you going to do? So I think from day one, you need to know exactly what you want. And that's what Midi was discussing with Liz last time. She knew what she wants, and she knew what possible, what could happen in the future, possibly, and she was ready to manage that. Okay, so this person might have a job today, they might lose a job tomorrow. And what she has, is it enough to sustain a family, or you're not going to be able to support your partner for a little while they're out, or something like that? Anything can happen. And so we discuss a lot about this. You need to know. So don't be fixed, don't be rigid. to say this person is size 6 today, the person got a job today, the person is this family tomorrow, the family, something can happen as well. So you never know. I'll give you an example. I was talking to somebody before, and the person told me this girl was using the glasses, and then he said, the eye problem of this girl is genetic. So that if he married this girl, then their children is going to have this. I laughed because the thing is, the girl that don't use glasses today can even have a degenerative eye congenital problem tomorrow. Do you know? So this is why I kept on saying a lot of times you think you know, and this is what you want. Change is inevitable. So be at the right place at the right time, and you have to manage your relationship. I just want us to talk to people that might be in this space right now, what they need to look for to be certain. I think it's very important to know there are some foundational things that are principled that you don't want to. Maybe you don't want to marry a Muslim, for example, or you don't want to marry a Christian. That is foundational because that's going to clash, and they're not going to change in terms of that. Whoever, I have a sister that married a Christian or something, and all of a sudden the person became Muslim, but it was originally a Muslim, so something like that. Whatever is your benchmark in terms of your religion, your faith, your values. So I say value in terms like maybe every Christmas you go to your mother for family Christmas party. This is the family culture that you do. But this person hates your mother. I'm just saying something as simple as that. And say, I don't want to go to your family to do things. And this is going to affect you. You know that it's going to affect you going forward. You might now say, if you're not going to my mother, then I'm not going to your mother. Then we don't have relationship, do we? There are some things that we need to actually know is our no. But physical thing, I don't think I think we can work on that. Even emotional thing like maybe personality traits, for example. Somebody is very quiet, somebody is very loud. That could be managed. All those things you can work around that. That could be managed by teaching and training and mentoring. That could be managed. So I was gonna say something also for me, like initially at a time I love gift, like aprons, kitchen tools, like utensils. And then I was getting it. At a stage, I don't want that anymore. How many kitchen tools do I want at 50? Don't buy kitchen. I need tea. Get me some, you know, exotic tea, some nice tea mugs. It's something simple, but I've changed. Don't go and buy and say she used to like apron for 40 years. I don't like apron anymore. So don't get upset about that. You know what I mean? So we changed, and I've changed truly. I'm not going back to apron no more. And if that's a problem for you, then that's a problem. Don't worry. I'm not having it. So what are the things that you think people should um I mean, like personal story. Now I want your personal story, how you've changed. So I've just said how I've changed. Liz, how do you think you've changed? I know you're a lovebird, you're very romantic. And what if your husband is not that romantic, but and it's changed? How are you managing that? Because
I think what has happened for me particularly is, the way that I wanted to express my affection is not the way that my husband receives,
right.
and for me to get to understand how he receives, I think came with a great transition within me, because at first I thought he doesn't love me. At first I was really fighting, because I was giving or expressing love in a particular way, and he was very aloof for my way of doing things, or wanting to
Yeah.
hanging around him, and maybe for him maybe I was too clingy, but for me, that's
I know exactly what
You
you're
know,
saying.
and I've got a man whom I think every girl out there would want to hang around with. You know, he's nice and tall. He's got the voice.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
of course, I want to show off my men. You know, I'm really even the more prouder when I'm out there. You know, but then I had to adjust myself. You know, be out there and be content. You know, if even if I don't hold his hand or go around him, like I had to learn to be content and not think he's rejecting me when
Right.
he would for instance, do that. But yes, I'm like, so
Mhm.
yeah, that's the one thing that I had to really change with, because I'm really a um, showy person. I don't know if that's the way to put it.
Yeah,
It's not
no.
that I want to really show off, but
Mhm.
if I've got a good thing, why should I hide it? My
That's
husband is handsome.
yeah.
I want him to come out there and to be seen, and but he's like, nah, that event is not for me.
Wow. I was there, but I was there actually, exactly so. But I was lucky that I trained mine, and then now we're 50-50, because I know what you're saying. Some of us are really touchy and affectionate and all that.
Yeah.
We married people that are very private, no display of affection, publicly or whatever. Who cares? You
Like
know?
even putting pictures out there. I want to take pictures. We've kissed here, we've touched there. He helped me up here. It's like, what? No. It's like, I'm like, this is such a, memorable place. We're probably not going to come here ever again. We need
Yeah.
to capture this moment.
Yeah. I was there. I had that too, but God helped me a little bit. Like, but that picture too, I had problem. It has to be. I wanted to take 10, but then it's like no, three. That's it. Three is enough. You're not taking. So I mean, these are the things that you don't know from the start, because when we married, there was not that we had Polaroid. The one that instant photo. But now you have iPhone. You can take 1,000 photos. But at the time, I didn't know that was going to be. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a thing. But like you said, now we now realize that this guy. But in saying that, he's been given an indication that is not publicly displaying, because when we married I will hold hands, and then we say no holding hands. So I should have thought about maybe no photo taking in future, but I wasn't thinking future, if you know what I mean. I wasn't thinking future. But Heidi, what has changed from how you started? I started with aprons and kitchen utensils, but now I want tea, you know, I want something else. Perfumes. Get me a perfume. Heidi got me a perfume once. Thank you. And Liz got me a perfume too. You see, I collect perfume. It's crazy. So I don't want kitchen utensils anymore. Get me perfumes. But anyway.
Yeah, that's nice. Just on the topic of right circumstances, and that's what you just mentioned. I went to a really nice movie last night with Anna, the Julia Roberts and George Clooney movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Ah,
came out actually 2 days ago, and we went to it yesterday. It's a beautiful movie, highly recommended. So I really, really wish everyone watched that movie. It's very nice,
is it the
amazing.
gentleman? The gentleman movie, is it?
No, no,
There's a woman there
it's a
anyway.
family movie. It's a
Okay.
nice movie where um it's a really feel good movie. You
Okay.
go, you feel good, and you come out smiling and crying and laughing, and it's an
Okay.
amazing movie. In the movie, two people were getting married, and the guy's family, while they're asking the girl's hand in marriage, this is what they said. They said, we need the right circumstances, the right time, and the right, what did they say?
Right.
Right place.
Place.
Right
Yeah.
place, right time, right circumstances. This is what
Mm-hmm.
makes a happy marriage.
See?
That's what
Mm.
they said. Right time, right place, right circumstances.
Yeah.
Now, what is right?
Right.
What makes right right?
Mm.
So they had an idea that, having the right circumstances means that if we put the rings here, we will find them here. But if they disappear from here, that means that the circumstances aren't right. We do this at this time. But if it doesn't happen at this time, that means this marriage is not going to happen. So if it doesn't happen this way, it will be cursed. Now, it's funny. I thought it was really funny that they said that in the movie. Okay. But in reality, some people think like this. And that's really sad.
Yeah, that's true.
What is right? Right. What is right? Right and wrong.
According to who?
Exactly. In whose books? And at what time? And in whose world? Like, what was right for me 6 years ago is definitely disgusting and wrong now. You know?
I will assume, Heidi, I will assume that what is right and circumstances will be, like, for example, Liz came and studied in Tasmania, and one day coincidentally met the husband at the right place, because maybe it was the Namibia function, and then he came and then they met. That would probably be like the right place and the right time. And somebody, for example, I have an instance. A friend of mine went to Singapore for an holiday, and she's been praying for her son to get married, and for many many years. She went for this Singapore and then saw a lady that was ripe and was ready, everything godly, beautiful, from the village she came from. I was told, from the village she came from in Africa, Congo or wherever the village. The girl is from there, and they met in Singapore and she was ready. As I'm talking to you now, they married and they're in Australia, just because the mother went for it. So I would think that would be the ideal circumstances and the right place and right time. But if it's what you're telling me is a bit flimsy, the ring has to
Yeah.
be in the container. If the ring is not there, then that's a bit loose.
And even these
Not really tight.
circumstances, yeah, and even these circumstances, Temi, what you're talking about is what this woman made meaning to be
Yeah,
the right.
yeah,
Okay, so that's what this is what it all means.
true.
My idea of what is right. It's like I was talking to a friend, a couple of days ago, and we were talking about traveling somewhere. Okay, and then she said to me, "Look, I lost my passport, and if I find my passport at this time, I'll consider it a sign from God that this is what I will need to
I know
do."
some. I know
And I'm
some,
thinking,
some people do that.
did you consult God before saying that? Did he secretly tell you that if you do find your passport at that time, then travel? It's like, what? Anyway,
Just
so she
just
made
get a
that
new one.
meaning. It,
Just get a new one, honey.
made that meaning. It's up to her. So every single person is making meanings out of things, and it's comfortable for them, but it doesn't mean that it's their truth. My truth doesn't need to be that truth. Okay, it's just whatever I made up and I made sense of. So how did I change? I changed in so many ways. I wouldn't be able to recognize myself in the past. So when I started, like when I first got to know my husband, obviously I was a young girl, and we got to know each other, and we decided to get married, and then we got married, and then I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I don't even know the man. I don't even
Wow.
know the man, you know? And then because we're not allowed to date for a long time, and when we date, we don't really go out alone. And so it's like, well, I didn't really get to know the man. And when I was his wife, I'm already his wife. Okay, well, now get used to it, now live with it. But obviously, I didn't have the mindset and the flexibility and everything that I have right now. So this is
Right.
one of the reasons why I'm responsible for it not working out.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't work it out. I didn't put the effort. I didn't invest in it because I didn't know that this is a thing, you know? I knew that there is so many different things that I need to do to learn how to be a mother. Never ever ever in my whole life have I thought about reading a book and how to
Wow.
be a wife.
Wow. I
Have you?
like I like, yeah, I did. We all dramatize. We be thinking, we, what do we do? We internalize it. We actually dramatize it. We do even do role play. Your wife, you go to the beach. We always do this in Africa. I don't know if you did that in Namibia, but we do it. We imaginative play a lot of times. And, and because the fact that they hid us like you, Heidi, that you can't bring boyfriend home, you don't have boyfriend, I was so upset. And so I thought if I ever have a husband, I'm going to do everything like crazy things that I was not able to do. I was too happy to be big and mature to have. So I was doing all that, and I saw my mom. My mom was very, very, very good woman, and she was talking to us about how some things you can manage, some things you can tolerate, some things you can't. So I thought I would try, just because my mom is passed, and not to disappoint mom. I would try, and I did try, because it was hard, to tell you the truth. When you have a husband, we just got married, and we say, let's do the house chores. It's like, no, I'm tired, I'm sleeping. I'm not your slave. So all these things could have caused a big catastrophic in my marriage. I could have lost my marriage, because I wasn't going to have a bar of this nonsense that you can't help me. I have a baby, you're talking to a friend, or you know what I mean? So we went through our own rough patch, but I was matured because I didn't want to divorce. And I think I've said it on the show before. My family have this history of divorcing. Everybody is divorcing. So I said, and I saw some of the divorces idea, I will not lie, that could be managed. It's not that bad, but they just get angry, and it doesn't stop. I'm like, this, even when the partner is begging them and crawling, and they say, no, I'm done. You did not buy the children's school uniform on Tuesday. That's a big deal for my family. You did not pay the school fees. The man said, I don't have money today. Can I pay next week? No, because you don't have money, then you drank Coke yesterday.
Mm.
You should have used the Coke money to buy uniform or to pay school fees. These are the kind of flimsy things that causes divorces in my family. I'm thinking, no, we should be hearing each other more. I will tolerate, I will, just empathize and whatever. And I really don't want to divorce. I think I worked more on our relationship than my husband, I will say. He can come here and counter me, but I really worked hard because I really wanted to work. Do not want to be that divorce family, to break the curse of my family. But anyway, we're running out of time. I think we've
Already.
already, I know, but we've given so much. And thank you, ladies, for sharing personal thing. I like what Heidi said, that what she knew now, if she knew it then, she probably wouldn't have divorced. I tell you, Heidi, a lot of people don't get to where you got to. They will still hold on to what the man did. It's about the man. He did something, that's why we divorced, and not growing. They're not growing themselves and look back and put the pride aside. Okay, we've divorced now. I don't need to be proud. It's fine. Let me just find out what my problem was and what I could have done a little better as well. And seek help. If you seek help, a lot of times you rescue your relationship by seeking. But people just, I don't know. So that's the essence of this. The last thing I want to say is, if you want to get into a relationship, one thing is, you need to die to yourself, both men and women. Die to yourself. Shelf your pride. Shelf your pride. If your husband say, as a husband, you don't want photo, you don't want 10, just take 3. But not having anything, you're not being fair, in fairness. And so the woman might take it for so long, but it can be still painful, because I really want 10, but you're giving me 3. 3 is fair enough, but not giving me anything. That's about dying to self. It's not about you, because you don't have you now anymore. I have you, and you have me. Or maybe we have 50-50 of each other, something, but I have something. So those are the kind of things that we need to be talking to both men and both women. You don't own yourself anymore. Your partner owns you. So we buy them. They buy us, we buy them. We both buy each other.
We're signing for it, both of us.
Exactly. You both signed. So why are you pulling out for this contract? But it's been an amazing, and some youth, I was talking to some youth, they watching us, and some of them says I'm putting notes down, and they just text me, I'm writing something, and I'm getting something. People change. Just know that figure you're looking, that curve could just go disappear one day. Where's curve gone? Take her to gym, because you can build the curve back. All those things you can do back, work together. And I just wish you the best in your relationship as you travel on this journey. It's not that hard, it's doable. But I'm gonna sign off now. We're running out of time. We see you next week with another fantastic topic.
Good
Thank you,
night.
ladies. You are amazing. Amazing. Thank you.
Goodbye.
We see you then. Bye bye.